I've seen this happen way too much in baseball. A pitcher will sit in the low to mid 80s, throw strikes, and work harder than every single person on his team, but he's not getting the opportunities that he deserves. And it's not because he's not talented, it's just a matter of fact that no one's ever shown him the system to make it to the next level. I'm going to show you exactly how I take my pitchers from the low to mid 80s to high 80s touching 90 by increasing their velocity, having better command, so they can get interest from real high level schools. This is the exact same system that I built my development on and how I train all my clients in 6 months. This program is not filled with a bunch of generic bullpen sessions or a bunch of random velocity drills to help you gain a couple miles an hour in a few months. By the end of this video, you'll completely understand why only velocity is not enough to get you recruited to the next level, and the exact template that all the high-level baseball players in the world are using to reach their full max potential. So I'm not wasting anyone's time. This video is meant specifically for the ball player who is sitting at a decent velocity already and already has the work ethic to get themselves to the next level. They're just missing the structure in their development to get them there. If you're watching this, more than likely you've gone to private lessons before throwing singular bullpens once a week, or you've tried a cookie cutter off-season development program when you were younger, but you came to the realization that everything was just generic for all the players. And in reality, if you want to take your game to the next level, you need a plan specifically built for you that helps strengthen your weaknesses and makes you a complete all-around ball player. If you don't know who I am, my name is Patrick Ben. I'm a former 5-year Division I baseball player, and now I'm using all the knowledge that I've learned at the Division I level to mentor the younger generation of this game. A little background on my playing history. I was just like you in high school, unrecruited, not getting many opportunities, but I was constantly showing up and doing everything possible on paper to get myself to that next level. The one thing I didn't have in my program though was having structure. And that's what I really came to the realization the longer I went into my baseball career. You see, when I was in high school, I only had a couple Division III offers going into my senior year. I ended up going to a Manhattan college camp my senior year, and I got a bunch of interest from the school and from the program, and I felt it was the best fit for my career. But then everything changed. Going into the spring of my senior year, after COVID happened, I found out that I wouldn't have a roster spot in the program, and that completely derailed all my dreams. But rather than sulking and sitting back, I decided that I got to put my best foot forward and keep constantly practicing to reach my full potential. That freshman year, I did everything I could possibly do on a daily basis to reach that goal. I would go out into a city park, no matter the weather conditions, no matter the time of day, because I knew as long as I showed up and I followed a solid system, I knew that I would achieve my goal. And sure enough, that happened. My sophomore year, I got the opportunity to play Division I baseball at Manhattan College, and my career just took off from there. But then my junior year came around. Junior year, I only got to pitch 3 innings, and I had a 33 ERA. Now, after a season like that, the year before when you just made the team, that's something pretty tough to go through. But just from all my experience in the past, I knew I could break through this one. I just needed a plan to push forward. From there, from my junior summer going to my senior year, I was fully committed to my player development. On a daily basis, I was working on my mechanics. I was making sure that my nutrition and my strength training was tied in nicely. And then on top of that too, I made sure that my throwing was completely managed so that every time I would go out into the game, my workload was perfect. Sure enough, fast forward into my senior year, I had a great senior year, and then going into the transfer portal, I had a great opportunity to play my graduate year at Seton Hall. Now, since my playing career is completely finished, rather than putting all the lessons I've learned to the side, I built this pitching mentorship program to really help out all the younger stars that are coming up in the future of this game. The one thing that I feel really benefited me as a ball player was just having people constantly in my corner pushing me to become the best version of myself. And that's exactly why I do this program. You see, if you're in high school or you're in college and you feel like you're going through different things or there's certain situations that you're getting into, I've been through all the exact same things, and the whole purpose of this program here is to help guide you in a nice clean development plan to make sure you can reach your full potential. I built this program all on my own. From a kid who didn't have a college roster spot to someone who got the opportunity to play in the Big East, I uncovered everything possible in my training program to make sure you're getting the most out of it. Now, fast forward since I've been training players, they've been getting some unbelievable results. For example, one of my clients, Division III pitcher at TCNJ, came to me throwing in the low to mid 80s. Right now, he's sitting 91, 92, topping 93. Another of my clients, same situation. In high school, not getting many opportunities, low to mid 80s, right now sitting 88, 89, and he's getting phone calls from elite Division I programs. Now, you're probably wondering how the system works. After using myself as a trial run and the rest of my athletes, I boil this down to a 3-pillar system for how I get the maximum potential out of everyone I work with. First, starting with mechanics. Mechanics as a pitcher is the most important thing that you're going to come about. Whenever I work with all my athletes, the very first thing we do is bring everyone through a thorough mechanical analysis. The reason for this is that a lot of the potential that's leaking in your player development is stemming from your mechanics. So many younger ball players, even players who are in college, have poor mechanics, and that's the exact reason why they're not being super consistent on the mound or potentially why they're getting hurt. The second most important pillar of this program is establishing a routine. If you want to be a successful person, either in baseball or in life, you need to have a repeatable routine that you can execute on a daily basis to really reach your max potential. Let me ask you a question. When's the last time you had a full development plan set out for you for a full 6 months and you got the maximum potential out of your playing ability? Most likely not, and that's okay because there's not many programs out there like that that are specifically customized to exactly what you need to develop. In this program, I teach all of my athletes how we're going to build a specific routine tailored to them, and as we go on during the program, we're just going to keep narrowing it down and down to be super specific to get exactly what they need in terms of mobility, throwing correctives, throwing program. We talk about workouts, arm care, just mental performance all together. Every single athlete is going to have a tailored program, a tailored plan, and they're going to have something that they're going to need to work on every single day to reach their goal. And third, the most important pillar of this whole program is mentorship. During my playing career, I had so many people vouching for me and being in my corner as I went throughout my entire career. So many times I've been up and down just like a roller coaster, and it's very easy sometimes to kind of get demotivated or feel like nothing's ever going to work out. And that's exactly why I'm here. I'm sure any of you guys watching this, during the course of your career, you've always had ups and downs, and that's exactly why I'm here. Because anything that you have gone through in your career, most likely, I'd say 95% chance, I've gone through the exact same thing that you're going to be going through. And the whole purpose of this mentorship program is just to help give you a clear vision of how we're going to approach your entire career. When it comes from a question in terms of mobility, throwing, recruiting, mental performance on the mound, I've been through it all. And this is why I'm here to help you out. If you're a super competitive ball player who wants to play at the elite level, but knows that there's one specific gap missing in your player development for making that big jump to the next level, this program is exactly for you. Inside of this program, we're going to break down a full development plan that's specific to you to make sure you're going to get the most potential out of yourself. First, starting off with mobility. If you're an athlete, stretching and just having overall flexibility is the most important thing you can have in terms of injury prevention, but also on top of that too, how we're going to get the maximum performance out of our body. Once you're going to finish that and do your full warm-up for the day, we're going to go through specific throwing correctives to make sure we're optimizing our mechanics. After we finish our mechanical analysis, a lot of you are going to have mechanical drills to work on, and in order to make those changes, we need to simplify it and isolate the movements into those exact flaws so we can properly feel how our body is supposed to move. If you try to fix all your flaws just going through a bunch of regular throwing or just trying to do it on the mound, you're going to try to think about fixing 10 things at once, and when you think about fixing 10 things at once, you're not going to fix anything. Now next, when it comes to throwing, I love to think about throwing in terms of weightlifting. Let me ask you a question. Whenever you go into a gym, are you just in there doing 100 bicep curls in a row or squatting 400 times in a row? How would your body respond? Do you feel you would get stronger, or do you feel you just end up burnt out? And that's exactly how most kids feel in their throwing. They kind of throw on a daily basis with no structured plan and just mindlessly throwing. And at the end of the day, if you want to have constant gains in your player development and you want to stay healthy throughout the entire course of the season, you need strong structure to your program. Now when we talk about arm care, I know you probably see a lot of videos on arm care in terms of throwing a whole bunch of plyos or doing a bunch of random bends, but at the end of the day, that's not getting your arm stronger. You want to think about it. After a player comes back from an injury, yes, they end up healthy and they end up playing better because they got the surgery, but you got to think about how thorough the rehab process is and how they're building up a bulletproof arm. And that's exactly what I cover in this program. We're going to make sure your shoulder is balanced in both directions. We're going to work on your scap strength, making sure your forearm and your elbow are completely strong. It's going to get to the point where your arm is going to feel so good on a daily basis and you're not going to be fatigued anymore. Now, also, when we talk about our workouts and our exercises, the most important thing what we talk about in this development is trying to be an elite mover. Let me ask you a question. Say if you're a bodybuilder and you're in a gym and you're squatting 500 pounds, do you think you're going to be throwing harder than the person who's trying to move weight quick? And the answer is no, because pitching is an explosive movement sport. As a pitcher, we got to understand how to activate those quick twitch fibers and make sure we're moving very quick and efficiently. If we do this and train a specific matter, that's how we're going to get the most out of our player development. And then finally, mental performance. Every single week in this program, all the kids in this entire program, we hop on a call and we go break down exactly every single person's program, and then from there, jump into a series of mental performance drills to help you gain mental performance and mental strength. Throughout your entire life, and it's obviously in baseball, but then going future, your mind is the most powerful tool and the most powerful muscle you have in your entire body. So understanding how to control it and understanding how to have increased mental strength, not only is going to help you in baseball, but it's going to help you and set out a clear path for the rest of your life. I've explained everything about my full pitching mentorship program. A lot of you may say, I can just do this on my own. And yes, that's potentially true, but I want you to think about how long that's going to take you to really put everything together to reach that max potential. As a ball player and in life, time is constantly fleeting, and it's the most valuable thing that we have in our entire life. There's only a finite amount of it. Now think about it. If we're able to have a consistent plan and we're focused on it on a daily basis, putting all the thinking aside and just staying focused on a plan, think about how much quicker you're going to improve. That's going to take all the guesswork out of it for you, and you're going to have the best chance to succeed. In all honesty, getting an elite college offer, or even better, a Division I offer, is one of the hardest things to do in athletics. But think about it. If you commit yourself to training at a high level for 6 months with a proven plan that got a player who was unrecruited out of high school to playing in the Big East in super competitive baseball, think about how that would change your life. You've been working so hard over the course of your entire career, trying to put everything together you possibly can do and giving your best effort on a daily basis to reach that goal. But now, that's why I'm here. I'm here to help you out and to give you the best opportunity to reach your end goal of playing elite college baseball while mentoring you along so you don't make the same mistakes that I did in my career.